Hooray! This is the future of content creation. How to embrace authenticity in an AI driven world. So, we're going to make sure this actually is working on YouTube. It looks like it is. Hooray! Okay, if you are here live for the first time, give me the word new in the chat. I know we already did that. My name's Molly Mahoney. I'm so glad to be here with you today. I'm also secretly celebrating the secrets of the octopus. Did you guys know that my good friend Warren had a book and a National Geographic special come out last night? It's available on Disney Plus today. So this is my secret nod to Warren. We got to go meet up with him at Disneyland right before he recorded it. So cool. And I'm just really excited to be here with you today. So we are going to be diving in how to embrace authenticity in an AI driven world. And this doesn't mean that we are anti-AI or that we're putting AI down. I am obsessed with AI. I love AI. We've been teaching AI since 2021. What we're really going to be talking about is what to be aware of as we move forward, what is coming at us with this giant tsunami of AI magic, and how we can make sure that we maintain our human authenticity. So, with that in mind, we got a lot of us on here today. So, I'm actually going to go full screen just so we can see everybody. I always love to start trainings like this with a few things that we all do together. I'm going to also make our amazing Stephanie a co-host. So Stephanie is here. Stephanie, raise your hand if you're here. And I have a full Google Doc that we're going to be going into. I'm not going to give it to you today, but if you've joined us inside the Facebook group, I will be giving you all of the written notes from today. I'm still honestly fine-tuning it. There we go. It is really, we've been talking about writing a new book behind the scenes, and this is really like, it's taken me a really long time to put all this together. And it is so juicy as to how we can connect authenticity with AI. So one thing that I love to do to start these trainings off, and if you're watching this live on YouTube or you're watching this here with us in Zoom, I always love to get started with what I call a gratitude game. So in the chat, we're just going to take 1 minute. So 1 minute, we're going to write in the chat. I'm going to put the 1 minute timer on. Oftentimes we do this with Jason Mraz. I've got the 1 minute timer going, and all you're going to do is you're going to go in the chat and you're going to share as many things as you can that you are grateful for. So in the chat, just start typing. Ann Bennett, it's so good to see your face. In the chat, we're going to start typing and share what it is that you are grateful for. For me, this is one of the best things that we do in our community because it gets all of the energy going. Okay, I'm going to reset our timer because it's already at 36 seconds and we got to get a full minute. Okay, go. Here we go. Ready? All the things we're grateful for. I love it so much. Ah. If you're watching on YouTube and you're like, what the heck are they doing? You should have been on Zoom. Right. Okay. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Stephanie, I made you an admin too, so you can get everybody in also. Renee, I love you. Thank you. Whitney's ice cream. I don't know what Whitney's ice cream is. Okay, we got 15 seconds. Keep it going. Amazing. Oh, so good. And time's up. So good. Amazing. Oh my gosh. I love it. Okay. Our gratitudes are going. And now there's just one final thing that we need to do before I pull up the slides. And I don't even have slides today. We're going to work off this Google Doc. It's going to be awesome. And before I pull that up, I really do want to make sure that we're all in the right place here together. So before I go full screen, I want us to take our hands like this. If you are in Sales Stars or Glam or the Content Club, you know what I'm talking about. And what I want you to do is I want you to take your hands like this. Everybody take their hands like this. And inside your hands, I'm going to give a lot of information today. So I'm just prepping you right now to know that. So inside these hands, you're going to whisper the word decide. Okay. Decide. Okay. And then we're going to whisper one more word. You guys know I love this. We're going to put on a double dose today. Whisper the word possibility. So just say possibility. because I'm going to give you a lot of possibilities and you're going to get to decide what you want to do with it. So we're going to take this and first say possibility one more time. Possibility. We're going to put on our possibility hat. Ready? 1, 2, 3. It's an open one. So do it like this. Okay. And then we're going to put on a decision cap. So we've got the possibilities like with spirit fingers and all that jazz. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Decide. So we're going to start with the possibility and we're going to move into a decision. Again, like I said, I have been working on this behind the scenes for quite some time. Yes, I've used AI to kind of get the brainstorming going, but really a lot of this is pulled from my years of experience as a professional performer, my years of experience in the business space. We started this business back in 2013. And so I am so grateful to have generated multiple millions of dollars, to impacted multiple millions of people. We've had a video that hit a reach of 39 million, which is crazy. Facebook paid me $30,000 for it. But really more than that, what is the most important to me is the effect that we've been able to have by building community and connections with real human beings. So today, we are going to be focused on how we can use AI to elevate your own authenticity, to embrace your authenticity, and to know that moving forward, if we ignore all this AI, we're going to be in a big heap of trouble. But if we only use the AI, we're going to be in an even worse space. So if you agree with me on that, give me an amen in the chat. All right, I'm going to pull up this Google Doc. And like I said, it's a little wild. It's a little wild. I'm going to pull this up. And if you are in the Facebook group, and I know we got other team members here, so maybe somebody else can drop the Facebook group link in the chat. If you're in the Facebook group, later this week, I'll be getting you access to this document. If you're not in the Facebook group, what are you doing? You got to get registered. So just know that. Okay, here we go. Pulling this up on the screen. Okay. So as I shared earlier, we're going to be covering the future of content creation, embracing authenticity in an AI-driven world. We're going to be bopping back and forth. We won't be focused on this Google Doc the whole entire time. You can see I've got lots of things stored up here on the top, so we'll be bopping around. Really, just to begin, I want to let you know like who I am. So you know, everybody's talking about AI these days. We started teaching AI back in 2021, which sounds like a long time ago in terms of AI. We launched the AI Content Club. It was called Dancing with Jarvis all the way back then. And now you may have noticed that there are like 75 million AI experts out there. Now, are there people who are way ahead of us in terms of AI? Yes, there are people who are doing like crazy bananas things. It is awesome. And I want you to know that if you're one of those people, I promise we got you because we're going to keep your feet on the ground and help you to be more human. If you're someone who's like, hey, I want to be involved with AI, but I don't want to have to do all the crazy words I don't understand, I've got you too. I'm here like with my octopus arms, grabbing all the information and pulling it into one spot to connect us. So we've got like all the different things on all the different sides. We're going to bring it together in one place today. Just a little backstory on me because we're just meeting maybe for the first time. I was a professional musical theater performer in New York, did the national tour of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a bunch of things like that. Realized that while I loved performing, I loved singing, I loved dancing, I knew that there was something more. If you've ever had a moment like that where you're like, oh, I know there's something more. And what I've been hearing from a lot of my friends recently is that they've been feeling that way with this whole AI space. It's like things don't feel like they're working exactly like they used to. If that's you, say that's me. And you've been looking for what's that like click so that you can really own who you are and accelerate it. Oh my gosh. The only thing I have on my table is mushroom coffee, which is going to get me in trouble. Hold on. Okay. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So that's where I was when I decided to leave New York and come out here to California. I knew that there was something more. And some of you were there when this happened. You know, at first I started as a confidence coach and I would walk up to people randomly and be like, hey, do you need more confidence? And I'm sure I annoyed a lot of people. And my purpose of telling you this story is that sometimes you have to test out your language. Sometimes you have to throw some spaghetti at the wall and see what sticks. And one of the things that's so awesome about AI is that it can speed up that process for us. It can also collect data that we have from people in our community, and it can do the testing for us. It can grab all the information of what people are saying and give us real data, which I'm very excited about. Back in the day in 2013, I had to do all of that myself, walking around and offering confidence to people. And no, this is not those kind of mushrooms. Thank you. It's everyday dose. It's really nice mushroom coffee. I like it. Okay. Thank you for clarifying, JT. All right. So back in the day when I was launching my company, it was really focused on finding your authenticity, on finding your confidence. And so I'm sharing this with you to let you know that we're really going back to those roots. Over time, in 2016, we switched from teaching singers how to have a career, from teaching, audition tips and acting tips. And rather than teaching performers how to have a business, we started teaching business owners how to perform. And I launched a program called Camera Confidence. Some of you were in that program way back in the day, and it was awesome. We brought in $50,000 in just 3 months of launching that program, from zero to $50,000. It was so cool. And the biggest thing that we did with that, and another reason I'm telling you this story, is that we paid attention to what is the trend and the opportunity in the market. So it wasn't just like, what's the cool thing that's happening? It was, what's the trend and where is there a gap? Okay, keep that in mind, the trend and the gap. Then in 2018 or 2017, right around there, when messenger bots started coming out, we dug all in on messenger bots. Again, it was starting to become a trend, and then there was a gap, right? So we started teaching about automation and how to combine your Facebook Lives with your messenger bots. Now it's all over IG, all of that. And it did really, really well. We had our first video hit a reach of 1 million. And at that point, we also ended up hitting our first $1 million in revenue, which was awesome. So again, it's that trend and the gap. Cut to 2021, when Jasper came out. It was called Conversion.ai and then Jarvis. And we found this tool and realized, whoa, this is bananas. Most people weren't using AI. They were pretty afraid of it actually at the time. But again, it was, what's a possible trend and where is that gap? Where can I fill that gap? And that's really the place that we're at right now. So when ChatGPT came out, obviously a bajillion people started using ChatGPT. I think they had over 1 billion people on the website at one time. The excitement of AI, the gap there where people don't really know what it is, that gap has shifted. In the beginning, we were able to say oh, you could literally, put in the chat if you remember this. I love this comment right here, that not even thinking about Jarvis being AI. Yeah, that was they were using OpenAI, the same exact tool that we're all using right now when we use ChatGPT. That's what Jarvis was doing. They just built a really cool tool on top of this AI system on the back, this language model, right? They built this cool interface on top of it. Well, when ChatGPT came out, all of a sudden it felt like it really evened the playing field. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more. There's some huge updates that happened just this past week. And there are some things that we really need to be afraid of, honestly. And I don't talk about fear very often, but I think we're going to talk about this in a moment. There are people who are sneaksters that are like the guy, the fox, I think he is, in Pinocchio, who grabs Pinocchio and turns him into a donkey. We don't want that to happen to us. And there's also something that is a new term that I'm going to call, and I haven't made an AI graphic of this, but I should, the seductive squirrel. There is this little fancy squirrel dancing around over there. If you've ever been seduced by the squirrel, let me know in the chat. And when ChatGPT first came out, there were a lot of people who created very expensive, seductive squirrels. Okay. You don't need to pay a bunch of money for someone to build you your, AI voice. I know somebody who paid $25,000 to have her brand voice identified. And maybe you offer a service like that. So maybe we can talk about how you can position that. But I want you to know that a lot of this is something that's possible that you can do on your own. It's seriously awesome. Okay. Is Karma the only one who has fallen prey to the seductive squirrel? Tell me. I'm sure there are others of you as well. Okay. So here's what we're going to be covering as we jump into all of this today. Deciding that we were going to focus on AI has been such a huge it's been such a huge, amazing opportunity for us in getting on more stages and being able to help more people. And really underneath it all, what we're doing is helping people to create content that allows them to connect with the right ideal client and turn that content into actual sales. There are a lot of people out there who are teaching AI because it's cool, but they're not actually focusing on what's the real result that we're going to see on the other side. And so we're going to be talking about those real results. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to be covering as we dive into all of this. And I've set aside 2 whole hours to be here. Oh, wait, Stephanie, is that right? Do I have 2 hours in the calendar or did I have 1 hour? If I only have 1 hour, I am in trouble. Let me make sure. Hold on.
You have 2 hours because we thought about this ahead of time.
Thank you. Okay, I have 2 whole hours and I have prepared a lot for you. We're going to bounce around and not just stay inside this Google Doc. We're going to go to tools and different things like that. Okay, so when we are jumping into this Google Doc right now, I'm going to give you a little rundown of what we've got coming. And here we go. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. First, we're going to be covering how to AIify your content, the AI revolution and its impact. So the AI Wild West, the good, the bad, and the downright deceptive. And then we're going to buckle up because I'm going to give you an honest assessment. So we're going to do a little assessment today about really like what should you AIify and what should you actually keep as a human being in your business. Then next, we're going to move into how to be authentically awesome. This is really your secret weapon in a sea of AI clones. As you know, there is more and more and more AI out there. I've got some great examples of things that we want to do and some great examples of things that you don't want to do. Then we're going to talk about how to dive into your own authenticity and how to make sure that you can stop blending in and own your weird. If you don't think you're weird, you'll be convinced by the end of this training today. Okay, then we're going to be covering how to use AI as your strategic partner. So demystifying the tech, using AI as your super efficient intern, automating your way to awesome without losing your soul. So AI and automation are obviously 2 very different things. I like to kind of see them as something that works hand in hand. So we've got authenticity, clearly, AI, magic, and automation, which is like the systems behind it. And then we're going to cover how to build your own AI systems because it's actually way easier than you think. I'm going to give you some really great examples of that as well. Okay, then we're going to move into sustainable success strategies. So how to trend proof your empire because fads fade fast. Okay, and as we do this, one of the things that I'm going to show you is how you can make sure that you're not falling prey to this idea of the seductive squirrel. And I will share that in the beginning when AI first started becoming available to everyone through tools like Jasper and ChatGPT, really all you had to do was say AI and people would pay you because there was a bigger gap. And if we look at, I'm actually going to pull up this graphic right now. Where do I have it? I know where I did some slides for another thing recently and I have it on there. Here we go. Okay, there is this graphic that I love about the technology adoption curve. Okay, the technology adoption curve, while I pull it up, it starts with this. It starts with the innovators, the people who are really coming up with brand new ideas and totally changing the game. Then it moves into the early adapters. Let me find it because I know I have it here. Here it is. Okay, so right here. Ta-da! Okay. So it starts with the innovators, then it moves into the early adopters. And those are the people who maybe are a little too afraid to innovate, but they're like ready to jump on right away and figure it all out. It's still kind of messy, right? I like love the innovator / early adopter place to live in. And I understand that some of you don't love that, and that's okay. I got you. Then we move into the early majority. When you're in the early majority, it's like it's become a common term. It's something that you don't have to, like your parents don't wonder what you do for a living. Does anyone feel that their family can't really explain what they do for a living? We had this conversation on one of our coaching calls last week. I thought it was so funny. Okay. And then we move into the late majority, which is when it's just completely woven into our life. Like I remember when I was in college, I had a watch that was like a Dick Tracy watch. speaking of, does anybody know the movie Dick Tracy? Because I have Breathless Mahoney on my desk at all times. I think it's kind of funny. Hello. Okay. So I had this watch that was like a Dick Tracy watch that was a pager and a watch at the same time. And it was so cool. Like cell phones were kind of a thing, but like this pager watch, I could get all kind of information on it. It was wild. So that was something where it was like that early adopter thing, right? I also, cell phone wise, I had a sidekick. Did anybody else have a sidekick? You could like, and it would flip up the phone and then it was like, there was a commercial that they did with the dueling banjos. I loved that thing. It was so awesome. But now where we're at, we're clearly in the laggard space, which is the last place on here. And you may know a person, you may be this person, I don't know, but there are still people out there who don't have smartphones. There are still people out there who can't send text messages because they are in that place in the past. Can you imagine life these days without a smartphone? You can't go to Disneyland without a smartphone. Like you have no way to know what's happening. They don't even pass out paper maps anymore. So with this technology adoption curve, what's really interesting in terms of AI is that it resets like every day. And we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but I was in San Francisco with my family when the new Meta AI stuff came out. And during the content club, those of you that are in the content club, during the content club just recently, Christopher, I don't know if Dr. V's here, one of our Sales Stars members, he said, have you tried the new Meta AI? And I had tried it like in Messenger, but the new updates just came out last week. And I was driving to San Francisco that afternoon. So by the time we got to San Francisco, all of these people had videos out about the new Meta AI, and I was becoming a laggard. It was like really stressful, right? And I had to be okay with that and know that I could be a couple days behind because I'm really obsessed with figuring it out right away. But if everything that you're doing in your business is based on being the first person to move with the trends, it will exhaust you and you will miss out on your family vacations. I let it go because I knew that I had more beneath my business than just being the first person to do a new AI tutorial, right? Right. Okay. Amazing. Marcia. Okay. I love it. All right. So as we're going through, I'm going to keep going with what we're going to cover. And I want to remind you that if at any point during this training today, you want more information about working with, I cannot talk. You want more information about working with us, or you want more access to our full templates. We have amazing trainings on how to create content, an entire month of content in 30 minutes. If you've done it before, let everybody know how awesome it is. If you would like more information, I'm not doing a big old pitch right now, but you can message us on Instagram with the word details. So know that. I do also have something super cool that I'm going to share with you later on that is brand new and like the easiest way to work with us ever. And you may freak out when you hear me announce it later. So just know that. Okay. Enough of the laggards. We're going to go back to this Google Doc. Here we go. Okay. So the sustainable success, right? So we're going to talk about how you can trend proof your empire. We're going to talk about how engagement is more important than eyeballs, building a community, not just an audience. And this is something that has been really important for me for years and years and years, especially as someone who's used to standing on stage and like performing in front of a quote unquote audience. I really don't like the word audience when we are talking about our online presence. I am here to connect with you as human beings, and we're here to build a community. And I promise you, that is how you get raving super fans who want to throw credit cards at your face. And I'm going to give you some really awesome examples of that. Okay. And then we're going to move into monetization that feels dang good and doesn't depend on the latest algorithm update. This didn't get updated right here. It doesn't depend on the latest algorithm update. It's exhausting to try and keep up with all those changes if you don't have someone like me who loves keeping up with those changes. And I want to make sure that you have monetization strategies that will work even if things change. And so we're going to talk about that too. Finally, we're going to dive into ethical and AI future proofing your business. So this is going to be where we talk about AI with a heart, understanding the effects of automation and how to do this in a way that isn't creepy. We'll talk about the burnout trap, protecting yourself in an AI-fueled world. And this is really what I was mentioning this past weekend. I had to make a really clear decision. ignore the FOMO and embrace the JOMO, because I really was like, guys, I need to just go lock myself in a room and make a whole new course about meta AI. But I didn't do that because my family is more important to me. And I'll show you what I did instead that brought us even more leads and sales. Okay. And then we're going to talk about how you can adapt and thrive, building a business that actually embraces the change. Okay. And as we jump into all these things, I want to make sure that you know that you can go and ask questions in two different places. One place to ask questions is actually to put questions below the question thread. I changed the image on it. It's now a banana phone. I'm going to put this in the chat. This is our official question thread inside the Facebook group. And then also you can share your questions here in the chat. Just type the letter Q and then share what the question is, and we'll come back to that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Awesome. So as we dive in here, we're going to talk about like what's actually happening in the world of AI. Now, this isn't just the normal 10 easy AI tools for business owners. This is really a wake-up call, a gut check, and maybe even a swift kick in the sparkly pants, because I'm telling you, things are changing and it's becoming so easy for us to be able to create our own AI tools. But part of the problem is that when we're in the digital Wild West, I'm obsessed with Yellowstone. So if you're watching Yellowstone, let me know in the chat. You know, just like when we played Oregon Trail when we were kids, that at any given moment, some rogue algorithm can come give us AI diphtheria while we're on the trail. And so I'm going to give you some of the things that we need to be afraid of and how we can avoid them. And so this is where I'm talking about the sneaksters that are trying to take advantage of us and those seductive squirrels. Okay, so you want to make sure that we are using AI and we aren't putting all of our eggs into the AI basket. Because as we've seen with some of these tools, like let's talk about is anyone here actually actively using my good friend Jasper more than anything else? Anybody in the chat? It always makes me sad to ask this question. Okay. Now, I know there are still some people who love Jasper. And if you don't even know what Jasper is, it was really the first tool that combined OpenAI with a really cool interface. So they had these awesome templates and all of this. But a lot of people have left Jasper because they've realized they can really create their own custom version of this. I still have a Jasper account because I think they do a couple of things that are like super spot on. But for the most part, this is really something that you can create on your own. So when I start to get messages from people who are like, oh my gosh, you've got to check out this new AI tool, I really have to be careful and recognize I have a deep understanding of marketing underneath my belt, of connection, of content, of systems, of SOPs. And with the right strategy, I can build these tools for myself. This is something that we're really big about helping our members to do, to recognize that you are an expert at something and you can build these tools yourself. I'm going to give you some really cool ways to do that today. And I know that it feels overwhelming, but even just in the past week, it's gotten easier and easier. I want to play a little video that is actually Sam Altman. And this came out just this week, this interview. I'm going to play it's a little snippet of a video because I think this is something that's really important for us. So I'm going to screen share. I'm going to screen share this. And I'm going to share the sound so that we can hear this. And then I want us to have a little conversation about this. Okay. And once I hit play, let me know that you can actually hear it, because it should be playing through here. Oh, come on. Ah. Let me actually open it up. Hold on.
The model that's most personalized to you, that has your whole life context.
I had it right where he started to ask the question. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you, you mentioned obviously your time investing, and Brad, you obviously engage with so many large enterprises around the world today. For me as an investor, I see so many AI companies, and I'm not investing in any application layer AI companies, because respectfully, we've seen OpenAI come out with products and it's like, well, that killed a whole industry.
I think fundamentally there are two strategies to build on AI right now, or startups doing with AI. There's one strategy, which is assume the model is not going to get better. And then you kind of build all these little things on top of it. And then there's another strategy.
Okay, let's pause on that. There's one strategy that is assume the model is not going to get better and you're going to build your tool to make the model better. Okay, that's one strategy. listen.
Which is build assuming that OpenAI is going to stay on its same rate of trajectory, and the models are going to keep getting better at the same pace. It would seem to me that 95% of the world should be betting on the latter category, but a lot of the startups have been built in the former category. And then when we just do our fundamental job, which is make the model and its tooling better with every crank, then you get the OpenAI killed my startup meme. Yeah. If you're building something on GPT-4 that a reasonable observer would say, if GPT-5 is as much better as GPT-4 over GPT-3 was, not because we don't like you, but just because we have a mission, we're gonna steamroll you. But there's a giant set of startups where you benefit from GPT-5 being way better. And if you build those and AI progress keeps going the way that we think it's going to go, I think on the most part, you'll be really happy.
Okay, so I cut this little snippet out because I want to make sure that we talk about this. If you are building something, and I know some of you are not building AI tools at all, so again, this is where my octopus is grabbing the different things and bringing them together. If you are building something or teaching something that is using a tool that is thinking that they're going to improve this, this model, there's a good chance that that's going to work for a little bit of time and then it's going to go away. So this is what we had done with our AI content club. It was called Dancing with Jarvis because we built it based on this tool. Instead, what I believe we need to do, and this is a huge shift for most of us, is that we need to figure out what is the actual intrinsic value that we bring to the table, and how can we use AI and automation to accelerate and systematize that. If you don't take the time to figure out what is your framework and you're out there, either you're one of the people who's out there copying other people's frameworks and trying to use that as some sort of hooky gimmick with AI, you're going to get in trouble. Or if you're someone who's I don't really need a framework, I just need to use this AI tool to make this work, it's not going to work. You're either going to get copied by the other people, which we'll talk about the authenticity piece in the future, because I know there's a lot of you who are in that place right now, or you're going to be completely washed out because it's not even going to matter because it's going to be so easy for everyone to do this on their own. I just want to be really clear about what he's saying there. Then you also have to listen to the fact that he's obviously wanting OpenAI to be the top in the, in the AI sphere. And then you look at what happened last week with Meta. So Mark Zuckerberg, and many of you know this, he got this huge, he went from being the person that everybody hated more than anyone to all of a sudden, I saw so many YouTube videos over the weekend, just in little things that I was watching here and there while we were traveling, of people being I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's a total genius. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is amazing. Did anybody have those feelings about the new Meta AI? Has anyone even seen it? Let me know in the chat. Do you want me to show you what it does and what it is? I'm assuming that everyone knows ChatGPT. I didn't really take a little moment with this, but okay. Do you guys want me to show you? Okay, amazing. And I know we've got lots of different versions. So with ChatGPT, let's just go really basic for just a second. And again, at this event that I was at this weekend, not this weekend, last week, I was so blown away by the people who really most people don't know what's happening with AI. And so for me, it's always a good reminder to be okay, we need to slow down and recognize we can do a lot of these things on our own, but most people don't know that. So I'm going to show you ChatGPT for just 1 second. Then I'm going to move to Meta AI. And then we're going to get into how to actually create your own AI tools. But we have to focus on your authenticity first. At this event that I was at about a week ago, so many people were sharing that their results and their client results, really hardcore, high-level people, are seeing a massive decline in their sales because all of a sudden, everyone's an AI expert. The big, huge bump that everybody got with the stimulus in 2020 is dwindling. And another reason I believe as well is because the space is just getting so crowded that it's super hard to figure out how to stand out. So these tools are going to help you to do that. Okay. So let me show you. This is ChatGPT, which I'm assuming everybody knows, right? This is ChatGPT. Now in here, there's a couple of different things that I can do in order to get really great results based on my own foundations. The first is I can take a prompt, like I can go in, let me just show you kind of, this is basic again, but it's cool. I have a document that is all of my brand messaging details. It's our products, it's our clients, it's it's our ideal client summaries, it's our ideal client detailed avatars, all of this work that I did behind the scenes. My brand voice, all of this, right? I can take this information in the basic form. I can take this information, come on, right? I'm going to copy it all. I can paste it in here and I can say like, please summarize this. I can't spell, but it doesn't matter with ChatGPT, this business for me. Okay. Just to show that this works. Right. So I've got all this information in here. This is like basic. I did the foundational work and now it's going to tell me about my company. Amazing. You can go to your website, pull the information from your website, put it into a tool like this and get something that's condensed and, kind of get some of your brand voice, right? Pretty awesome. This looks pretty great. But that's just the starting point of this. I then can say, hey, I can go here and I can say, Molly Mahoney, watch how I do this. I'm going to type an @ symbol and I'm going to say, Molly Mahoney, I have a custom GPT built in here that writes in my voice and knows my frameworks. So I can say, Molly Mahoney, create a tree of beliefs for the content club. Again, I know this is basic for some of you, but stay with me. Now, one of the things that we teach is that if you want to get people to buy from you, you have to instill buying beliefs. That took me 2 seconds, and now I have this whole tree of beliefs built out because I built my own custom version of an AI tool right within ChatGPT. I'm not going to get too deep into how to do this right now, but this is like easy. Sean, this is as any expert, because you could say, this is not as an AI expert. This is as you as a human being, right? Like, so Sean is amazing at helping people with their events. You could build your own thing and go like, click that thing. And I'm going to click like lead magnet. Oh, I don't have that one. Oh, here. Look, Sean, sales booster. I have a sales booster that I created. You could have a speaker booster that you create right inside ChatGPT for $20 a month. You could use that for your clients, but also think of what your team could do behind the scenes to speed up what you're doing. Anything that you are an expert at, you can build your own custom tools to be able to accelerate what you're doing. So this is all possible within ChatGPT. I can ask it to give me images and all of that. Now, I only use ChatGPT here in this because it's the basic one that most people are familiar with. But my point here is that you have to build, it's very easy to do, but you have to build behind the scenes your actual framework and put it in here. The $20 a month is to pay for the paid version of ChatGPT. Easy, because you have to have the paid version to do this. And we'll get back into more of the nitty gritty of this. With Meta, we're going to go to Meta AI. It's just meta.ai. You can ask it to do anything, right? Just like you can ChatGPT. If you log in with Facebook, what's really crazy is if you log in with Facebook, it will actually save your conversations just like it does in ChatGPT, right? Saving your conversations. But there's one thing that Meta did that is different that everyone is freaking out about. So there's some cool little things that you can do with images, and you can do similar stuff like this in ChatGPT. Like I can go like this, draw me a sunset with lots of colors and palm trees. Oh, that's cool, right? That looks kind of weird now. So I'm going to keep typing, or maybe I'm going to back up and be like, oh, which one did I like the most? Nope. I like that one kind of. And then I'm going to say Havana. Ooh, style. Super cool, right? And then I'm going to say beach. Sand. Empty, because I don't want people in it. I'm just typing random words, right? The no humans not working. Okay. So I can type all these different words, right? So like, let's say I decide that I want to use that, and that's going to be like some new cartoon that I'm creating. Okay. Now, if I put this in here, she's kind of cute. Okay. It's going to create these 4 different images. Again, this is just a little trick that I'm showing you right now to show you that there's a lot of possibility. Stay with me. Once it does this, watch this. Now I have 4 different versions, but watch this. Make a video of all the images that appeared as I typed. Are you ready? And there's something that's really cool about this Meta AI thing. These are all of the images that came up as I typed. And so sometimes I've come up with really cool images that I could use for a reel, that I could use for a GIF. And not only things that are just like of the beach, right? Like I did one of a tree that was beautiful. And I could take this and I could animate it and watch what's going to happen when I animate it. Pretty cool. And I can keep adjusting it, right? But there's all kinds of things that I can do with this to make, these are just like silly prompts. It's not really very fine-tuned. Okay, now here's the thing that's crazy. They have created this Meta AI in a way where it is open sourced. Now, the same thing that you can do with ChatGPT, you can actually connect your own systems, your own frameworks to the backside of OpenAI, which is the company that created ChatGPT. You can do the same thing now with Facebook's Llama 3, which is what this is called. They have integrated this AI model all over Meta. So when you go to the search bar on Facebook, and we're going to come back to like the strategy for you. I just want to show you like, this is how quickly the possibilities. Yeah, exactly, Sharon. Squirrel City. It is dangerous. When you're on your phone and you go to the search bar, all of a sudden there's all these other AI capabilities. So remember when we talked about the innovators, the early adopters, the whatever it's called, the laggards, all of that. This is what's happening is it's just going to be a normal part of life. So if you don't get ahead of this gap period right now, which is allow yourself to feel a little like, right? We should have put on our hat. Allow yourself to feel like what is happening because it's a totally different way of communicating. You've got to allow yourself to feel that way a little bit and get with someone who can guide you to streamline it so that you can use this to get to the front of the line, because that line is resetting literally every week. And there's always this new opportunity for you to be able to get to the front of the line, but you've got to have your foundations in place first. Okay. There probably is a difference on the phone and the iPad, but I don't want to jump too far into that. So, Jerry, you hit the nail on the head. Here is the thing. Meta AI is free. Even if you don't log into Facebook, you can use it. Now, let's take it even one step further, which is not only ChatGPT and Meta, there's also Gemini, which is Google's new version of AI that used to be called Bard. And Gemini is actually my favorite. It seems to be a little more. Okay, I'm going to be really real with you for a second. Did you guys see, like, did you see my notes earlier that it said damn on it? I would never write damn in my notes. But when I used I used Gemini to help me create part of this, that's the title that it gave to my thing. So I had changed it to dang and everything else, but on the top of my Google sheet, because I went through and like, I've used 4 different AI models to create this. On the top of the I'm sure some of you think this is funny knowing how I am, but on the top of my, like the guide of where it puts, I took the whole presentation that I wanted to do today and I put it into AI and I said, give me chapters. Gemini used the word damn instead of the word dang. So Gemini seems to be a little more edgy if you're looking for something that's a little more edgy, where ChatGPT has gotten very like censored in a lot of ways. Gemini seems to not be doing that. So there's these different models that we can use, but the real important thing is that underneath it, you have to have your own framework, your own offer, like dialed in solid, and then use these tools to help accelerate what you're doing. Does anybody have questions just on what we've done so far? I'm going to go to the question list later, but I want to make sure, like, how are we doing? And it's definitely more of a rebel. It even suggested that you cuss, which I think is funny. Yeah. So if you're having problems with something like ChatGPT not doing what you want, you can go to Meta AI, you can go to Gemini, you can go to Claude. We love also. But the real thing is what we're going to be talking about is you won't even need to go to those different tools. You can build out your own. It's really awesome. Okay. Questions? And I'm going to go back to our notes because now we've gotten off on a little tangent, but I knew we would be doing that today. Okay. Let's do a little giveaway. Here is a question. We're going to move into the next little section here, but I posted earlier today. Oh, I posted it saying damn good, you guys. That is really funny. The one that I posted said that too. I'm going to change it. I'm going to give you a little nugget right now. Okay. I would love to build, Stephanie, I hope this is okay with you. I would love to build out a full custom AI tool for someone on this call. Would you guys like to win that?
I love that.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm going to edit this post with my little adjustment that I made. That's so funny. Okay. And I got lots of stats and like really cool specific key points for you in just a moment in these notes. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. And this is a good point, Sharon. A big part of this, like if you're going to be creating things like logos and you're creating things like, proprietary, like copyrighted, trademarked images, don't do them with AI because you really should be using AI to help you brainstorm behind the scenes, to help you come up with ideas. And then the final product you should be doing with your own skill set, or you should be hiring someone who can do it with their own skill set. Part of what Facebook is doing with this is they are labeling the things that were created with AI. And so we're going to see a wild range of the Facebook bots coming down and being like, oh, that was created with AI. I'm sure sometimes when it wasn't actually created with AI. Okay, so we're going to take this little guy right here. Here is how you're going to enter to win this. Okay, go to this post. And what I want you to do is, as we're going through this today, what I want you to do is share. And if you are watching on YouTube, I'll post, you got to really just join us on Zoom. But what I want you to do is below this post here, I want you to share some of your best takeaways. Like if this was awesome for you, I would love to know how this was here. Just share your feedback, your wins from today, and share your hashtag nuggets below this post. And then I'm going to come back and pick a winner at the end. Sound good? Did I show you the post? It's this post right here. I put it in the chat. If you're watching on YouTube, you got to join us on Zoom. I see you there. Amazing. Okay. If you can't join us on Zoom, that's okay. I got you. All right. So we're going to continue on. You guys good? If you're ready to go on, say ready in the chat. We got some possibilities. Can we all put like possibility hats on? We're all good. Amazing. Okay. I love it. Awesome. Okay. Now we're going to move on. So we are in this little section here. I'm going to put this back here and get back to where we were. Okay. So we just watched Sam Altman. We talked about the new meta update, and I'm going to give you some success stories that are like insanely easy. So this goes back to Sean's question earlier, that this is not about being an AI expert. This is about taking your true expertise and using AI to accelerate the speed with which you can do things, to be able to get real data from your community instead of just kind of going on a gut instinct, but you're going to combine your gut instinct with the real data. So I have this little case study here that is what we did in November. We sold over 690 courses organically in just a few days. And I'm going to go through real quick what we did here. we used AI to research and understand our audience. So when you have people answer questions, ask questions, people who come into your Facebook group, if you ask them questions right there, you can grab that data and have AI go through it for you to help you to figure out what do your people actually want. You can use AI to help you define your offer. And again, if you don't have a clear process for really understanding, like if you don't have a clear framework for creating an offer that converts, get with somebody who does, and then combine that with AI to give you feedback, to be able to condense things. It's like having a brainstorm buddy with you at all times, but you've got to make sure you have an actual expert framework that you're following, right? Then we used AI to help plan our marketing strategy. So if I go back over to ChatGPT, watch what I can do here. I can go in here and I can say, Molly, because I've got my system in here, run the super prompt on these beliefs. And those of you who know the super prompt, I haven't updated this. It's the old super prompt. But it's going to give me my content for an entire month based on these beliefs. And because I have a framework that I'm following, all I have to do is say, hey, run the super prompt, and it writes my entire content for the whole month. It can run an entire marketing strategy based on this because I've backed it up by a real framework. And then I've got some other things in here as to what we did, like making sure that everything is ready when you're putting this out there, a pre-launch campaign and all this kind of stuff. But the real thing that we did with the AI is that we used our members' information based on questions that they asked, questions that they answered, and the sales history that we had to find the perfect offer to put out for Black Friday. It's seriously awesome and has nothing to do with me selling something about AI, right? It's not about being an AI expert. Okay. Amazing. So we're going to go back to this. I also want to share with you some nightmare scenarios. So okay. Now, there are good reasons to be afraid of AI. We have heard insane stories. Oh my gosh, the craziest stories about people using voice AI in order to blackmail people over the phone. But I'm going to tell you the craziest one that I heard is this. There was someone who was on the board of some huge corporation or nonprofit or something. I can't remember exactly what it was. If you've heard this story, tell me in the chat. Someone created a complete AI version of his board and showed up on video and told him to transfer millions of dollars somewhere. And he believed the AI robots on the screen and transferred the money. That is not okay. So I'm going to give you a little example of how we are using AI video and AI audio in order to give me more time back so that I can spend more time with our clients and spend more time with my actual family and humans that I love. Okay, so do you want to see these ways that we're doing this? Because I showed you, I know it's like really terrible and it can happen to any of us. So I'm going to show you the ways that I'm using this to make sure that I am using this in an ethical manner and I'm not like out there taking advantage of people or being one of the sneaky sneaksters. Okay. I love this. And remember, you guys, this is what we teach. This is what we do. So if you, not the unethical stuff, right? The ethical stuff. So if you want more, Stephanie can put our Instagram in the chat. I have a team member who's managing Instagram right now. So just message us on Instagram with the word details. It's not an AI bot. It's a team member. Okay. So we had loads of people reaching out to us because of the recent changes that are happening on Facebook. So like today, as of today, you can no longer stream live into a Facebook group without a million tricky things. So I put together a full playlist explaining how to do it. And I knew I had so many people DMing me like, Molly, when's the video coming? Molly, when's the video coming? And I had a lot happening. So I didn't want to get camera ready. I didn't want to do all of that. And so here's what I did instead. And you guys, you can do this too. Are you ready? Here we go. I want to make sure I'm sharing sound. Hold on, let me just check. Just check. Okay, I am. So in here, I'm going to go to this playlist and I'm going to show you the bananas that we've created.
Hey, if you've been hearing that there are changes coming to Facebook groups, you are right. They are depreciating, which means removing the access for third-party tools to be able to schedule and live stream into groups. Now, a lot of people are saying this means that...
Okay, that is all AI. That's not me. Let me show you another one because it's wild. This is the first one that I did.
You've probably heard everyone is freaking out about Facebook groups because on April 22nd, the API access inside Facebook groups is going away. Now, a lot of people are putting out misinformation saying that we will know.
All of that is AI. Okay, and I want to show you what happens right at the very end before she goes into the screen share.
Do it in this video. And yes, this is my AI avatar because I didn't want to get camera ready. Enjoy.
Okay. So what I've done here is I've actually blended the AI video with my real voice. So we do things with AI voice. That was not AI voice. That was my actual real video. She does talk way too slow, but it was actually me, right? I notice sometimes if I talk too fast, it looks kind of weird. But I say, and yes, this is my AI avatar, right? There's another one here.
Newsflash, you can still stream with Zoom into a Facebook group. Check it out. My free Facebook group is right here and I don't need to do anything else. I actually can just click.
Okay, so combining the AI avatar with the screen share or whatever it is that I'm doing allows me to still deepen that connection with my community, but then I don't have to go through the whole thing of being on camera and getting camera ready. It is really awesome. I'll come back and show you later because I want to keep going, but we have another one. We've launched an entire AI podcast all with audio, and the audio is all AI. That is really cool. And I'll show you that. And then another thing that we've done, which I think would be so great for so many of you, is we have created Instagram videos that my team makes for me with an AI version of my voice. And all he's doing is a tech tutorial, but my voice is on the top of the video. And it's not actually me. It's all AI. So again, this gives me so much time. It makes it really easy and empowers my team to be able to do things for me. Really, really awesome. Okay, we're going to keep going. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over how these changes are affecting us as creators. I pulled a bunch of research. I used a super cool AI tool called Perplexity in order to pull different sources in order to pull these different insights together. And I'm going to go over these with you right now. And I'll share all of the tools at the end. So know that I'll come back and give all the tools. Okay, so easily AI can automate repetitive tasks, right? That we know that that's something that can be done. What most people don't realize is that we don't need to use a bunch of fancy tools to make that happen. We can do it with OpenAI and Zapier. You can just create your own AI tools automatically. It is actually really easy. You can also use this to improve quality and diversity. Many creators, 74%, and marketers, 80%, believe that AI will improve the quality and diversity of creative assets they can produce. So you create something on your side as a human, and then you use AI to zhuzh it, to find nuances, to be able to edit it, different things like that. But again, be careful to just go straight to AI to create everything for you. You have to have a proven framework behind it. And you have to make sure that the way that you combine your framework with these AI tools is done in a way that you maintain that authenticity, which we're going to get into next. Okay. It can generate multiple variations, ideas, and expand your creative possibilities. So for me, one of the things that I'll do is I'll come up with loads of options, and then I edit and zhuzh and delete the things that I don't want. Another thing, accelerating content creation. You saw that. It takes me 2 seconds to create a month of content. You saw it happen. Increasing your earnings potential. So this can actually make it easier for you to be able to increase your earnings because you can create more content. You have more time to be able to connect with people. We have an AI assistant who's in our CRM who makes sure that you get access to our courses. So when you purchase something from us, We send you an automation that says, hey, did you get access? And an AI assistant helps you. If there's a problem, he's like, Casey, come help. But we have an AI assistant that helps make sure that you get access to your stuff more easily. It's awesome. Okay. And if you're a creator who is creating content as an affiliate or for someone else, this will actually help speed up the process with which you use to create your products. It's amazing. We're going to start selling swag. I created an entire GPT just to create mugs for me. We have a graphic designer on our team. He is amazing full time, but now he can use these tools to speed up the process. We can drive better engagement because the AI can help us to follow the system, whereas humans, we get squirrely, right? And changing roles. So one thing that we've noticed is happening, and this is actually something really big for what we're doing, is that rather than feeling like we have to recreate everything, we can curate things. You have to be careful that you're not stealing things from other people. And this is so rampant and it's really bad with these easy bake AI experts, but you can start to create your own curated, newsletters and things like that, where it's really easy to be able to connect with people. I mean, think about like wanting to do a summit or something like that, where you're actually bringing people together, podcasts, things like that. AI can help you to make that more powerful. And then finally, in your organization, right, as you're building things out with your SOPs, with your team, so awesome, because there are processes that you can put into place to have AI really make sure that all of this is in alignment with your mission, make sure that you don't miss things as well. It is really, really awesome. Okay, we're going to move next into this little assessment. And I know we're only on chapter 3, and there's like 15 chapters here that I put into this thing. So we're not going to get through everything. I can just tell you that right now. But we're going to get to the assessment and we're going to move into the authenticity piece. So I have some questions for you, and I want you to answer these in the chat. First question is, what are you offering? Put that in the chat. What is it that you're offering? And I'm going to show you how you can double down on your authenticity and mix this with AI to make it even better. Kobe, oh my gosh, you guys know I meant you answer the question. I'm asking you, what are you offering? Thank you for following me so literally though. Okay. And I'm looking on YouTube also, because I know we couldn't necessarily get us live in the group. We probably could have, but I was just afraid to do it. So here we are. Okay, amazing. I love this. I'm putting the link for Zoom here also. Got you. Okay. I'm like, Daryl, I love when I don't like read your name, but I see how to coexist with bears. It's so good. Okay, these are awesome. Now, here's the real question for you. Does this offer solve a real problem? Okay, what is the problem that it solves? I remember when I started teaching Facebook Live way back in the day, one of our questions was to list the problem that you solve. And I'd say 75% of the people did not list the problem. They listed their solution. Oftentimes when we are offering something, we're so clouded with the thing that we're offering that we forget that we need to actually speak to the point of where our people's problems come first, as opposed to what we want to push on them. Okay. Now, with this, could a 5th grader understand your value proposition? Can you explain this in a way that makes it super easy for someone to understand? Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move into, I'm going to bring up on the screen one of our frameworks that I love so much. I'm going to bring up our social triangle. Okay. And I'm going to bring this up on the screen right now. Let me find it. Oh, I know. Hold on. I'm going to pull it up this way because I've got a couple other frameworks I'll share with you. Okay. This Google Doc is a real good one. This one I'm not giving you. I'm just going to show it on the screen right now, but I will, I'll show it to you here. Let me screen share. Okay, when it comes to turning this problem into a solution that makes a bigger impact, this is what we call the social selling circle. So we start off where we have the awareness playgrounds. This is where people find you. And what I want you to do is in the chat, you're going to give yourself your own little assessment. You're going to assess, do enough people know who you are on a scale of 1 to 5? What would you say? Do you have way too many leads or do you have not enough on a scale of 1 to 5? Yeah, and I haven't shared the link to any of the documents yet because we're going to share them in the Facebook group later. Okay, great. So I want you to know that AI and a strategic framework can help you to be able to accelerate those awareness playgrounds. This is one thing that we are hugely focused on in our programs. And I'm going to show you an example of an AI idea that is really bad so that you don't do it in just a moment. But you can definitely use AI to help you figure out where to go. You can use AI to help you figure out what to say when you're in those places. Like we love to go to awareness playgrounds and ask a specific question. We have a whole framework for that. And you can use AI to help you create more of the viral content that gets you seen in front of more people. Then once you start to get your stuff seen by more people, and you don't have to have 1 million followers in order for this to happen, when you start to identify your ideal client's problems, oftentimes in this first step of the awareness playgrounds, rather than focusing on problems, we'll focus on, instead of pain points, I like to say we focus on tickle points. So those tickle points can be really great at grabbing attention. Then we sneak in the problems and we move people toward a solution. So now we're going to talk about this consideration phase, which is where you get people to realize you have a solution that solves their problem, and you create what we call hand-raising free content. So this kind of content is the content that gets people to say, heck yes, I want your stuff. So if you have awareness, but you're not getting them to actually convert into a conversation, that would be like a hole in your bucket, right? So in terms of consideration-based content, from 1 to 5, give yourself a score in the chat. Between 1 and 5 on this. Andrew, we're going to help you. Okay, on this consideration-based content. Okay, and would it be helpful for you to see my social to show you kind of how this works in real life? Okay, so I love to shoot. I didn't mean to show information from people. Okay. I love to show like real world examples of this. And you know what, actually, if anybody is thinking, okay, I want help in putting this into action, Stephanie, can you share the application in the chat? We have an application also that if you fill out this application, it'll kind of jumpstart you to the front of the list. And if you fill out the application, we'll get back. We have loads of programs that range from, $47 to $100,000. So you can fill out that application. Okay, so in here, what you'll see is this video. Man, this is so, oh my God, I have like an acupuncture thing underneath my desk and I just stepped on it. Okay, this video here, this is so wild to me. This video hit a reach of like, it's like barely hit anybody here, I think. But this video hit a reach of like 2,000 really quickly on Instagram. So a lot of that also is just like putting things out there that, and just seeing what happens and knowing sometimes it takes a couple of weeks for it to stick. Okay. This here, right? So like this would be something that is a little more consideration, like created this with the new Meta AI. You want to see how I did it. 24 comments. That's okay. Right. But now this is what I did when I didn't have time to create an actual video. The new Meta AI is actually so cool. Recording a video now. Want it? 206 comments. This is a consideration-based post, but it will not work if you don't have the awareness piece in place either at the same time or first. So those of you that are in Sales Stars, we get together on calls a couple times a week. We have one big training call, and then we have 3 calls where we help you to write these posts. We have AI templates, but also as human beings, we help you to write these posts. This is what we call a validation post. And it had 200 comments because I have the awareness piece in place already. So these awareness playgrounds are really important because it gives you that visibility and helps to move people through your, it's really like through your client journey. Right. Let me show you another example. This one, 455 comments. This did super well too. And this post here is actually mostly written by me as a human, but I used several AI tools to brainstorm and bounce ideas off of and to get it down to like a really solid distilled piece of information. And then it did super well. So we're using these tools in conjunction with like real human expertise. Again, this is a longer version of what we call a ladder post where I'm calling out a problem in the industry. That's how you all got here today. I used AI to come up with a lot of this, but not all of it. Most of this is actually like me creating this and using AI to kind of supercharge it. Okay, let me go back to where I was. Hold on, this thing is covering the screen. All right, so that's the hand raising content. And I've got examples on Instagram as well. Do you want to see examples on Instagram? Or do you want me to go on? Just tell me in the chat because I'll make this right for you. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. All right, so then we move into the sales piece, right? So I don't know why I'm scrolling down. We move into the sales piece. Now on the sales piece of this, give yourself a score on a scale of 1 to 5. Where are you at on a scale of 1 to 5? Okay, great. Now, here's what happens with the sales piece is that we have to find a balance between the human connection and the automation. And we can add AI into the automation side, but if we try to use AI and automation to cover everything, it's not going to work. And I'm just going to show you, a friend of mine posted this today, and maybe you saw it. But when I saw this, I was like, oh no, don't do this. And I've covered up her like information, but I just cut out part of this post. I just think this is such a bad idea. And I want to be really clear that don't do this. A new software will write your viral posts, auto post them in groups, and auto reply to the comments. We don't want that to happen all at once. We want to make sure between each of those stages, there's a human being checking on what's happening here. So I use a lot of automations. I use a lot of AI, but I have a team member who's watching what's going on. And I am making sure that in between each of those phases, we have human beings. Like in our company values, it says all of our, maybe Stephanie, you can actually copy it. It says, it's like everything that we do begins and ends with a human touch. Because I've seen it happen where my bot is talking to your bot, and then we just have the bots talking back and forth. I don't know if we have Joy, one of our members, this happened inside our AI chatbot. It was just talking back and forth with her chatbot. And then I popped in as a human, like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but it just kept talking back and forth. We don't want to do that, or we're going to be creating a whole world full of robots, right? So we want to make sure that we have a balance of that. Now, I'm going to give you some ways that you can adapt with this and ways that we can use this to move into the authenticity piece. So we've got to make sure that we are fine-tuning our skills and adapting. We have to make sure that we are embracing AI as an assistive tool. We have to make sure that we start to, even if you're not an AI expert, you can start offering your own AI-powered services. So by adding AI into what it is that you are putting out there, this is going to give you, remember we talked about that trend in the gap? There is still such a huge gap in terms of this, and it's not that difficult to build your own AI tools, and we can help you to do that. But then you have to make sure that the human-centric skills, the things that are like in-person events, things like that, some sort of team manager who's managing the AI services, those things become even more important. And just making sure that we have those at the forefront so we're not just giving everything over to the AI. Okay, Now, that's everything on the AI and the like what's actually happening in the world of AI. What I want to move into next is really making sure that your authenticity stays at the forefront. So we have this exercise called the quesadilla of awesome, and the quesadilla of awesome goes like this. So take your hands like this. Okay? Everyone's going to do this together. I know some of you have done it before, but we're all going to do it together. Okay, take your hands like this, and on the count of 3, we're gonna put all of our business benefits in here. So everything that we shared earlier, put them all into here. On the count of 3, we're gonna throw it up in the air and watch what happens. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now our businesses are floating above us like Mikey TV and Willy Wonka. And what are you left with? Put it in the chat. You're left with you. And so I'm going to show this really, really quickly because I know we have lots of training out there on this, but you have to actually know who you are, right? We've got to know who you are as a human being. This is what we cover inside my children's book. I'm going to screen share, not screen share. I'm going to spotlight here. I'm going to go really quickly through this. In my children's book, Finding My Awesome, we have a whole list of the things that make you a uniquely awesome human being. They are this: your skill sets, the things that you're naturally gifted at, your appearance. And so these are the things that make you feel like a rock star on camera. It doesn't matter what other people think about the way you look. It's about your own gremlins, what makes you feel like a rock star. Your activities that you love. So knitting, crocheting, hiking, mountain biking, motorcycle riding, whatever it is, those activities are extremely important and you can weave them into the AI. Your values. What are the values that you stand for? Weave those into what you're doing with AI. And then the final thing is things you like to eat. And food can really be a common denominator that brings all of us together. As we are building out these AI tools, we have to make sure that we have a deep understanding of who we are as human beings and who we're representing as a community. And that brings me to the next thing that I want to talk about, which is this idea of, well, we're using AI as a strategic partner. What can we be doing in order to make sure that we are continuing to bring our communities together? And to me, that's the most important thing that we can do. I know a lot of people feel like they have to sell one-on-one offers, right? They've got to sell things like high ticket one-on-one because they're not going to be able to sell a group program as easily. But I firmly believe that when we can give our people the chance to come together, that's when the real magic happens because they support each other, right? And we see this happening time and time again in our programs, that it's not just about like what I'm delivering as a talking head, but it's really that collective intelligence is so, so awesome. So before we get to the full community piece, I want to just share with you some ways that you can actually use AI to build out your own AI tools. So like I said, you can create these custom GPTs. You can use a framework behind the scenes where people then come to you and you guide them through something as a human, but then you automate it on the backside. So there are ways that you can go from AI to an automation all within one swoop. It is like seriously wild. Has anybody used Zapier Central before? Let me know in the chat. Okay. So with this tool, you can actually connect any of your, like, for example, we connect Google Sheets to this tool. AI can go and look through the Google Sheet and then give us a result on the other side. You can build out chatbots right on your website, super, super easy. And you have to make sure, like I said, that you have an actual framework behind the scenes. And sometimes it can feel super overwhelming to build them. But once you have the foundations in place and you have someone to walk you through the steps, it's actually super easy and it's possible for all of you to do. It's like, it's wild. It's wild. Okay. Now there's 2 of you who even understood what I said. It's called Zapier Central and it is seriously powerful. Okay. Now, when it comes to building out our communities and our engagement and our really like moving from that idea of having an audience and a true community, I want to talk about, I'm going to skip ahead to chapter 10. We're going to talk about trend proofing your empire. And this is something to make sure that we're not getting sucked into shiny object syndrome. We're paying attention to the AI predictions, right? And making sure that you're talking to someone like me or someone who's really obsessed with AI to stay ahead of what's coming. but we have a true deep knowledge for our own expertise. Now, a part of this for us has been building out what we call a 3-tiered offer. And having this 3-tiered offer in place means that when people come into our community, we don't just send them straight to the highest level. We don't just send them straight to a low ticket. We make sure that we see where they're at and we give them 3 different entry points where they can come into our world, identifying that in a way that's super clear so that it makes it really easy. We call it the Goldilocks method, so that someone's able to say, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I need. It's just right. It's really, really awesome. Okay. Now, from there, when it comes to building the actual community, we want to make sure that our content is speaking to the connection piece, where we're speaking in a way that gets people to know that we're like right in the meat of the matter, and you're brave enough to really show what's going on in your own life. You're brave enough to show up as a real human being who's not hiding behind the screen. And so this is where it comes to incorporating things in our content that we call human stuff. Rachel Miller calls it like common denominators. It's the things that allow us to build those connections, which become sticky as we move really fast through the AI phase. Okay, then we move into the monetization. And when we're doing this, we want to make sure that, like I said, we have that 3-tiered offer, and we're going to use automation and AI to hit people everywhere. So one of my favorite movies is, what is it called? Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you guys seen that? Let me know in the chat. You guys are like silent. I'm going to look on YouTube. Everybody's like taking notes so fast that they're not writing in the chat. Okay. I love it. Okay. So in that movie, really at any moment you can shift and all of a sudden you're in a totally different world. This is what I feel like sometimes it seems that we need to do, because each of these platforms is totally different. There's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's YouTube. All of them want something different from us. The algorithm changes at any moment. It's wild. And so what we're doing with AI is we're really focusing on those buying beliefs that lead to a purchase on the other side. And then we're training our AI tools to know what works on each of those platforms. And then we use an automation to grab the content and put it out to other places. So a lot of these tools, you can post in multiple platforms at one time, but then you're not actually crafting the perfect message for the perfect platform. So using AI, and we were talking about this in our content club call on Thursday, using AI to make sure that you're speaking to the audience member or the community member, right, who's showing up on that platform. Having that as a part of a piece in your puzzle is going to make everything so much easier so that you can show up in the place that you really love and let the AI and automation do the rest. What's your favorite platform? Tell me in the chat. I love it. Okay, awesome. So for me, my favorite platform is still Facebook also. And so if you create things with that platform in mind, then you can use AI to help you to create them for the other platforms, as long as you're really aware of what's going on those other platforms, and we can help you to be able to do that. It is awesome. Okay, so we've covered so far, and I know I'm trying to keep an eye on the time because I want to make sure that we have time for questions. We've covered what the heck is happening with all of this AI, this content revolution, making sure that we're not being just an easy bake AI expert, that we're really using our true expertise, what it is that we offer, and combining that with AI. We've covered how we can be authentically awesome to make sure that we're honing in on who we are as human beings, what makes us unique and different, and weaving that into our brand so that we stand out, right? We've also covered how to use AI as your strategic partner. So you can build your own AI tools. You can bop in and out using your frameworks with AI to bring those together, or working with coaches who have systems already built like we do. We've also talked about really sustainable success strategies. So focusing on how to build the engagement instead of just looking at how we can get more eyeballs, but really having conversations talking to human beings, making sure that we're trend proofing your offers so that they're based on foundational truths. And we use these trends like AI to help accelerate them. And then monetization that feels good. So making sure that when you're having those sales conversations, there's an opportunity for someone to jump in at any different level. And this is one that I wanted to talk about a little bit more because recently what we've been hearing is there seems to be this like a little fear in the marketplace where people in terms of buying. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed that behind the scenes, a lot of people are talking about this and they haven't really been brave enough to talk about it out in front, out in public, because they're trying to maintain their shiny exterior, but really a lot of things are crashing down behind the scenes. And there's a couple of things that have been coming up that we really have found are leading to these changes. And if you're brave enough to admit that you've noticed this too, you can do so in the chat. I'm going to be brave enough to admit that I've heard a lot of people talking about it. So if you have offers that are like a huge long commitment, I had somebody, I don't know if you're on this call right now, but somebody asked me to commit to an 8-year mastermind last year. An 8-year mastermind. I was like, I don't know who you think I am, but I can hardly commit to 8 minutes, my friend. Insane. Okay. So an 8-year mastermind, we're not doing that. So you may want to find that your offers, if your offer is a year long, if your offer is, a very robust, you may want to simplify it and make it something that is possible for people to jump into in a shorter time frame. We've seen that it's not necessarily the money that's causing a problem, it's the commitment over time. I had someone else recently, let me just tell you about this. I had someone else recently say to me, they sent an email, and maybe they're watching this video right now. We had it out in an elevator because they sent an email and said, I don't want to put my credit card information in for a free trial. I just want you to give it to me for free. And Stephanie was like, but we don't do that. They kept back and forth like 4 times about how we're supposed to just give them our stuff for free. Now, I have another example on here where I saw an ad today. I'm going to show this to you. I saw this ad today. It was like, oh my gosh, where did it go? Maybe I didn't put it in here. But this ad was selling a program for 99 cents, like a huge program for 99 cents. You do not need to cheapen yourself to sell your programs for 99 cents. Okay, you do not need to do that. You do need to have options for people to join at different levels, though, so that it fits with their comfortability. So Stephanie told this guy no. Then I saw him at this event that I was at in the elevator. He was like, oh, I've been messaging with your team. And I said, oh, you have? He said, yeah, I wanted access to your content club, but I didn't want to put my credit card information in. And I said, no, it's free, yo. Like, absolutely not. We're not giving you a free trial without a credit card. Like, you've got to be kidding me. And there were other people in the elevator, and I flat out was just like, no. And he's like, but I just, it's like, no. So then it turns out he actually wanted to buy something that just wasn't a time commitment, which we have. So having something that is not so long of a time commitment these days can be really, really helpful. So make sure that you have that as an opportunity as well. Okay, I know, Diana, I was like, what are you talking about, friend? No. So it was awesome and really funny. Okay, now with all of this in mind, we also want to look at, are there ways that maybe people want to spend way more with you just to have it all done for them? And so if you are in a place where you've been really afraid of done for you and you've really not wanted to go there, there are a lot of people who are being laid off by Google, being laid off by Amazon, being laid off by Facebook as they put all of these AI things in place. They need to be hired. There are a lot of people looking for work. And if you have an offer that can sustain done for you services, raise those prices and do it for people. So this isn't a matter of just, thinking, oh, I've got to make all of my offers really cheap so that I can be the cheapest thing on the market. That is not sustainable. You want to make sure that your offer really speaks to exactly where they're at as a human being. Okay. Diana Sabatino knows a lot of people will pay for speed. Totally true. All right. We have covered so much. I have a whole other section in this written guide, which you can get when you join us inside the group, because I'm going to finish fine-tuning the whole entire thing about the ethics of all of this and really making sure that you are being honest in how you're sharing this content, and that you're watching your own burnout trap. Because if you're not careful in this AI fueled world where everyone is moving so fast, you can find yourself in a place where you're like chasing the AI and you're not actually recognizing, hold on, Mahoney, I need to slow down and be a human being here, because that comes first. With all of this in place, I'm going to do a little recap right here. With all of this in place, from how to actually AIify your content, how to make sure that you're authentically awesome, bringing your own authenticity to the forefront, how to use AI as a strategic partner, and how to have sustainable success strategies, plus making sure that you are future-proofing your business with ethical AI. I have so many other little case studies that I want to show of how our members are using these strategies to put this into place. And I know that you may be like, oh my gosh, that was so much information. What the heck, Mahoney? And again, I said this was a brand new training and I really wanted to dive deep. And there's so many ways that we could go down huge tunnels here. So I want to save some time for us to be able to answer questions. And I want to let you know that as we've been creating all of this, we've created a brand new opportunity for you to be supported in building your own business that follows that social selling circle, from awareness to consideration to purchase, and then finally the retention piece, which we didn't really talk too much about today. And if you have heard about our Social Sales Stars program in the past, I have to let you know that starting today, we have put together something brand new that is bananas. If you are a member of our Social Sales Stars program, you get access to everything. Do not fret. You get access to all of it. You are grandfathered in exactly as you came in, but we're going to be unveiling something brand new today. And so if you want to see how all of this can come together and some other little mini case studies from our community, I would love to show you that next. And it is really cool. So I'm going to pull this up on the screen. Before we move into this, I want to let you know that I'm sure there are some of you who can take some of this and just like grab a couple of nuggets and put them into action. So before I pull this up on the screen, I'm going to actually share this post one more time. I want to see your nuggets. I'm going to come back and pick a nugget winner at the end. I also want you to know that if you're interested in more details about this, you can message us on Instagram. We can get you the details right away. We've got a link that we can send you right away. But I'm actually going to walk you through this document to show you everything that we've put into place to help you to be able to get all of this in line, combining your authenticity with AI. And it is seriously so awesome. So I'm going to pull this up on the screen. And I really want you to remember that you put that decision-making hat on. So from everything that we've covered today, I would love you to pick just one thing. Give me a number one in the chat. And I'd love you to pick one thing that you're going to put into action. So far, as we move forward, what's that one thing that you're going to put into action? Put it in the chat. And if you're like, I don't know, I got you. The social selling circle is so good. Be a human being. Okay, amazing. I love it. Now, as we go through this, I want you to really fine tune like the whole process, because I'm going to walk through how you can bring the whole thing together. So here's the truth of the matter. I could literally talk for 12 hours every day about AI for the next 5 months and not run out of content. I wouldn't have to do any more research. And I know some of you who know me, you know that is true, right? You don't need more information. You need to get going with an action plan that leads to real results. And it's time to move forward out of the information overload and into actual implementation to grow your business. Because none of what we just talked about matters if you don't actually do it. And here's the thing that's tricky. YouTube is filled with a bajillion videos. Like, I could share a bajillion pieces of information. What you really need is someone to help you practice one of my favorite strategies, which is just-in-time learning. So it's about figuring out what is it that you need at this actual moment in your business and working with a trusted advisor who can point you to the right step-by-step framework to make that happen. So this is what we do in our Social Sales Stars program. It is a 12-month virtual implementation coaching program for online business owners looking to get multiple 6 and 7 figures without complicated ads or funnels. So here's what I'm going to do. Right now, I'm going to say this 12-month aspect of this, I'm going to delete that, because I know that as of right now, we have so many members who have been with us for 24 months, right? We know that this is something that you can actually stay with us for the rest of your life. We're no longer offering this as like set and forget a year-long implementation coaching program, because we know that once you get in with us, you're going to want to stay with us forever. So in this virtual implementation coaching program, we cover the following things. It is for people who are coaches, consultants, creators, agency owners, and honestly, any kind of online expert who's frustrated with a lack of progress and results when it comes to getting new clients, who's worried about info overload that leads to lack of implementation, and who's sick and tired of not being able to break through successfully and profitably. Plus, if you're looking for a structured, supportive environment that helps you to apply authentic, ethical, and practical sales and marketing techniques that actually work but don't suck your soul, Social Sales Stars is designed for you. And one other thing that we didn't really talk about as much today as we usually do is the whole point of what we're doing is that the more fun you have, the more money you will make. And so we have woven in play and fun throughout everything that we're doing inside this program. It's not only about information, it's for business owners who are ready to take decisive action towards surpassing their business goals. And we do it all together. It is amazing. Now, how is this different? So let's face it, you didn't decide to be an entrepreneur to work more. We give you processes which allow you to have more fun and make more money, right? We even have shirts to prove it. And you've probably been told again and again that there's a one-size-fits-all guru approach. This isn't like, I'm not mad at the gurus who have told us that, because at one point that was the case. But now there are so many different opportunities for how you can use this. This is about finding the framework that works with you and your business and matching that with AI to accelerate it. Especially as our ideal clients start to see that every other business owner has started using the same templates and frameworks, it's so important for you to be able to customize these and make them your own. It's super frustrating, time consuming, and it's hitting your bank balance because you're spending so much time efforting the work on the wrong things. You've got to figure out what lights you up, who you are as a human, and how you can combine that with these proven frameworks and AI accelerators. So we give you a library of proven, tried and true, tested turnkey systems. You can literally click on it, put it into your email service provider if you want. The systems are amazing. You get to choose what you want to use. You can instantly tweak them and make them your own, and then you can see real world results. So why did we create this? Because the past 10 years of helping entrepreneurs to get more sales with less effort, we realized those guru marketing methods were not working. This is what Mary did when she first joined us, which was so cool. She closed a $30,000 sale over the holiday because she was brave enough to put what made her click in place and actually offer it to someone from one post. She did one of those hand-raising posts, 20 people raised their hand, and she closed a $30,000 sale. It is awesome. Sean Q used the same system to bring in $10,000 from one video within 24 hours. What you do in your video is not as important as what you do around your video. It is awesome. Okay, how does this work? Where it happens? So this is all about making you the star, bringing your authenticity into the forefront, and we have learning modules to help you get there. So the first is getting really clear about what you would love. This is another way to weave your own authenticity into the AI systems. If you don't know what you would love, if your vision isn't clear, it's not going to work. Then we develop your 3-tiered offer. Like I shared earlier, this is where you have 3 different entry points for people to join your programs. It's awesome. Then we help you with your money map, messaging, and numbers. And like I shared earlier, this may be something that you need to change. This may be something that as the ecosystem is shifting, your offers may need to shift as well. So we help you to identify what you're going to charge for what level, and making sure that there's in this money map messaging, we create a win and a gap so that your offers don't cannibalize each other. I can tell you more about that in a bit. It's really, really powerful. We then help you create content that converts using the tree of beliefs that I showed you earlier. And we use these tree of beliefs to create really long, juicy ladder posts to instill authority and get people to be like, yes, take my money, throw credit cards at your face. Then we move into our star tasks. And I love our star tasks. The star tasks are where we get together 3 times a week and we actually implement with you. If you can't join us, we give you a little written guide if you can't show up on camera on Zoom with us to co-work silently, but we give you exactly what to do 3 times a week to unlock the algorithm and get more sales moving. Then we move into our full sales process, and this sales process is human and AI. So we use both human and AI accelerators to make this sales process work. It is so simple, so easy, and it's really fun because it actually works. When you implement this, you start to bring in more clients. So Linda used this system, combining the star tasks and our super simple sales conversation. And she said here, holy banana phone, Batman. On today's call, when Molly asked us to message people, I messaged 5 people I didn't have contact with otherwise. The result was $1,500 less than 24 hours later. And that was just from one of them. I asked if I could share this win. She said, absolutely. FYI, 7,000 came in the next day. OMG. It is awesome. Okay. Another social media manager just recently, this was actually just a month ago, she joined the program and she contributed $65,000 in sales to her company, which was the first time she was ever able to contribute that huge of a sale. And it was several different sales that led up to 65,000. Amazing. Seriously awesome. It's so good. Okay. Then we have some bonuses as well. So as we shared, the community is so important. So you get this whole, if you stay with us for the year, you've got a whole year of daily support inside the private and off Facebook community. But like I said, we have members who have been with us now for 2 years. So this is like an ongoing magical thing. You're going to get 27 or 24/7 support in the community. And this is off Facebook. So we are using Circle. I'll show you here because it is so good. We're using Circle because we know that we want to help you stay focused. I'm going to show you what it looks like here. You can see here in our Circle platform, we've got all of this, all of these wins. Oh my gosh, DM automations, all kinds of stuff. I love it. I love it. I love it. Loads of wins. It is so good. And this is also where all of the recordings are organized. So you can see in here, every recording that we share, the transcript is given. And then also we give you a full breakdown of what happens with a timestamp so that you know exactly when your questions are being answered. It is so good. And that is our weekly Symphony coaching calls. So we have coaching calls every week where we dive in deeper, not only with the AI stuff, but also just in terms of how to make sure that you're showing up authentically as a human being. It is awesome. And then we move into accountability calls as well. So these accountability calls, we meet 3 times a week to show up and get things done. And if you want more information about this, if you want more information, just make sure you message us the word details on Instagram. We will get you all the information. These calls are so powerful because oftentimes we just get stuck in this information overload and we don't actually do the things. You got to do the things, right? Then we've added in something else that is even more amazing. Every Friday, we have tech support calls. We realize that a lot of our members were getting stuck on how to set up the tech that comes into play when we're building out our businesses. We have tech support calls every Friday, so you get your questions answered by our tech support team. So awesome. Plus, we're going to give you all of the tools that you need. We give you Star Funnels, which is our own full CRM with all of our templates, email, landing pages, everything that you could need, and AIFI accelerators. So remember earlier when we talked about Jasper? Well, I built my own version. We have all of these different AI accelerators that go with each step in the program. So if you're on a module that's like, hey, do this homework, you can go to the AIFI accelerators and it will help to do the homework for you based on your inputs. It is awesome. Plus a live event, which is also amazing. We have a live event in person in my backyard. It is so much fun. And we actually deepen the connections and the knowledge of what we're doing. And you get all of this not only digitally, but you get it in a real live box. So you get this box in the mail that has all of the templates and everything in it so that you can get to work. You don't even have to get online. Okay. But really, what is this going to do for you? You will build out an entire social selling circle so that you can use your own authenticity and AI to add an extra 10 to 100K months consistently without fancy funnels, complicated ads, or selling your soul to Mark Zuckerberg. At this moment in time, membership is limited to 100 active participants. So we are at the place right now where we have 75 members. So I know we are going to hit that 100 soon. We have 75 members in our Social Sales Stars coaching program. And then we have another program called Glam. Some of them are in there too. So if you see us in Circle, it's right about 98 members. That's because of our Glam members too. Okay, so we've done something really bananas. You may be at this point like, okay, Molly, this is so much. You're basically in my business. Does this cost $1 million? It does not cost $1 million. And I know that you could join a program like this and easily pay $150,000 for the year to hang out with a bunch of dudes, because there are offers out there and people actually pay that. We are not about that here. And we've actually decided recently to do something that is totally bananas. Okay, so put your listening cap on, because I am about to completely blow your mind. Are you ready? Yes. Now remember, if you're already in Sales Stars, you get access to everything. So you are grandfathered in. If you are not in Sales Stars, I want you to know that we're doing something totally wild, which is we are now giving you the opportunity to get started in this program for less than $300. And I know this sounds crazy, and I can see your faces. We have shifted to a weekly payment method with this. So it's only $300 a week, and you get access to all of this. Now, some of you may be like, whoa, how on earth is that even possible? This was our real, really paying attention to what's happening and this shift, and recognizing that if you can get in for these weekly payments and start to see these results, it makes things so much easier for you to get traction. So $300 a week, less than that, it's just $297 a week. And so we're going to put the link in the chat so that you can get all of this information if you're ready to join us. And I know that some of you are like me and you're like, hey, but Molly, if I wanted to pay in full for a whole year, would I save? And yes, you would. If you pay in full for the entire year, guess what? We really recognize those of you that are action takers. You are the people who are going to get better results. So if you pay in full for the entire year, you get $5,000 off. What? So to pay in full for the entire year, it's only $10K. It's so good. We've made it so easy. So I'm going to have Stephanie put the link in the chat. You can put that link in the chat. It is awesome. And I'm super, super excited to be able to welcome some of you in. If you have more questions, all you have to do is message us on Instagram. We will be there to answer your questions. Go to The Prepared Performer on Instagram. Stephanie can put that in the chat. Oh, we have another link, actually, Stephanie, which I sent. There's another little link that I put in there. Hold on, I'm going to grab it right now. You don't even have to apply. Right now, I'm going to give you this link just right now. I'm going to put it right here, and we'll have a conversation. So after you sign up right there, this will unlock the ability for you to have a conversation for us to make sure that it's a good fit. But I know that we're going to end up selling out of these soon. So I wanted to make sure that I gave you that opportunity right now. Oh, it's going to be so fun. Okay. I put that in the chat. And if you have more questions, like I said, message me on Instagram with the word details. So good. Okay. We need to pick our winners. We need to answer questions, and we've saved time for that. I'm so stoked to be able to be here with all of you. And I also, as we move forward into the questions, I just want to walk you through worst case scenario. So let's say you join us, you jump into Sales Stars, and you find yourself fumbling in the dark, not seeing sales or the breakthroughs that you've hoped for. My commitment to ensure your success is that after 6 months, if you don't see a 3x return on your investment, we will continue working with you until you see the results. So this means you show up and you actually implement. If after 6 months, you don't see a 3x return in your investment, we will continue working with you. This is also incentive for you to actually follow the system, right? We want to make sure that you push through those fears, push through any of those limiting beliefs, because we know how possible this is for you. So we are adding in this new guarantee. Implement within 6 months. If you don't see a 3x return, we will continue to work with you until you do. Okay. Now, we want you to know that with that, you're not alone. There's no risk in stepping in. Isn't that amazing? I think it's amazing. Okay. Now let's look at the best case scenario. Imagine just a few weeks from now, you've jumped in, you're implementing the strategies from Social Sales Stars, and you start to see your community engagement. It's like tick, 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 right? The community engagement is up leveling and your sales begin to trickle in. You fast forward a little bit, and those trickles turn into a giant steady stream, a waterfall of sales. You're not just making sales, you're making meaningful connections, and you feel good about what you're putting out into the world. This fuels your soul while you're making a bigger impact. You're living the dream with a business that not only supports your financial goals, but aligns with your deepest values of authenticity, connection, and personal growth. Your inbox is filled with messages from people who can't wait to work with you. Your calendar is like filled with ideal clients, and you have the financial freedom to support your family, take those vacations you've been dreaming of, and invest back into your business. Plus, the magic of this is that you get to do this on your terms. You don't need to do things the way that I do. We have templates and frameworks for all different types of businesses, and you get to blend this with your own unique awesome. It is seriously possible. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Okay, I love it. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to jump into some questions. I'm going to look at the calendar and then we're going to pick our winners. So all you have to do, if you're watching us on YouTube, oh my gosh, because I know we've got some friends on YouTube. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I love these nuggets. I'm going to put this link in the chat too over on YouTube because we split up today. Oh my gosh. Okay. And I saw some questions about the replay of this. I don't know how long we're going to leave this replay up because I know this is a lot that we covered. Okay. So exciting, you guys. Okay. I'm putting the link there. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay. The 8-year commitment is a real winner. Amazing. Okay. I love it so much. Okay. I'm going to go to the questions. Stephanie, I don't know if you've sent me some questions on Slack also, but I'm going to the Facebook group first.
I did. I'll tag you.
Okay, great. I will start there. Amazing. Okay. I got it. Okay. Thank you so much. So yes, back to, I know I answered this question already for you, Sean, but this isn't about necessarily standing out as an AI expert. This is really about standing out because you have a true expertise. And with all of these copycats coming out every other second, there's a new AI tool. I mean, if you follow what Matt Wolf is doing, there's like thousands of AI tools every day. This is not about standing out solely as an AI expert. It's about combining your expertise with AI so that you don't turn into a laggard. That's the real thing here. Which app did I use for the AI avatar? So we used Hey Gen for the video and we use 11 Labs for the audio. Okay. Should you give an offer that gives all 3 options at the same time? Crystal, great. We don't do that. Sometimes on our trainings, I'll mention our different offers. So we have the Content Club, which is a membership. We have Sales Stars, which is our implementation coaching program. That's what we talked about today. And then we have our Glam Mastermind, which is once you're hitting like 30K months, our Glam Mastermind is really a better fit. You get access to everything, but it's a smaller group with more proximity. We have 3 in-person events a year. It's really like they're also coaching each other, right? Like one of our members shared something at an event that turned into $100,000 in an hour for a member recently. So that's just it's a much higher level. I'm not going to talk about all 3 of those every time I present something because it's going to confuse people, but I am really clear. The Content Club is just content. Sales Stars is sales, right? And then Glam is more of a mastermind where it's about that proximity and being able to collaborate with each other. So there's a clear win and a clear gap between each of those. Okay. Oh, perfect. Andrew Q. This was more of the details on the 3-tiered offer. So for us, we also have, we've got the Content Club and some other little one-off low ticket offers. That's our entry-level membership. Sales Stars and Glam are actually kind of in the middle tier for us. And then we have private consulting and Done For You as our top tier. I didn't mention that earlier, but the Done For You and the private consulting, our private coaching starts at $10,000 a month. So that's like the highest tier. And then in the middle, we have our coaching program and our mastermind. And then we have the little mini products and our content membership at the bottom. And the big thing with that is you want to make sure you're giving a win and then you're presenting a clear gap so people see why they want to accelerate through the program. It's awesome. Okay. And Eddie's asking, are you dropping the links and the tools that you use for audio and video inside the Facebook group? So I'll actually go in the Facebook group and I will put a link to the tools. So make sure that you join us in the Facebook group, because I have a whole little, it's like a slide presentation that has all of our tools in it. And I will add that in the Facebook group. I wasn't really sure today about how we were doing this with Zoom and all of that. When I realized today was the day that the Facebook group stuff is changing, I didn't want to mess with it today. We'll go back to doing Facebook group stuff in the future. I just didn't want to mess with anything. Okay. Does this same system, this is Kobe, does the same system apply as effectively for B2B, where Facebook and IG are not even in play? Enterprise class sales where community building happens almost strictly via LinkedIn, email referral, and phone calls. Totally. So for us, the way that we're teaching this, and I'm going to show you in here, we actually, what we're doing on Facebook really translates so well to LinkedIn. So when you come into the portal here, let me show you. Sorry, I'm in like admin view and I want to go into non-admin view. When you come in here, what you'll see is we've got, your welcome and your prep work, your action plan, how to actually make sales. This action plan, you could be doing this. Oh my gosh, am I showing my entire desktop with like 7,000 screenshots? Hold on, let me fix that. I don't know what I was just sharing. Okay, so this action plan that we have right in the first module has nothing to do with a specific social media plan. You could be doing this at in-person events. You could be doing this, in the metaverse if you wanted to. We give you a daily, weekly, and a monthly action step. And you start with the daily, you add on the weekly, then you add in the monthly. So it works on LinkedIn. It would work on Snapchat if you wanted to do that. You could do it all on Threads. It works everywhere. And here's the truth. Storytelling and connection has not gone away. Really, underneath what we're doing, it's about storytelling and connection and using technology to accelerate those results. We are really clear on helping you to create an offer that is like a total no-brainer. We are really clear on helping you create a system that allows you to have your life, and the platform with which you choose to do that on is totally up to you. And then we can help you conform it to that platform. I hope that makes sense. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, I love it. And I think also, like, in terms of the B2B, I will just share that I've used this system to be able to do things like get paid to speak at NAM, the National Association for Music Merchants. I wouldn't have been able to do that simply by just like DMing someone on Facebook. There are bigger things at play here. We did a whole thing all about podcasts last week and really positioning you as an authority through that level of content. So depending on what your goals are, we have some people who are teaching, and I don't know if she's on right now, but teaching like swimming lessons, it's a totally different thing than it is to be a business coach, than it is to be, I have a call later this week with Taylor Guitar. That's through relationships. So that's not because I followed a cute social media plan. Like, this is a deeper level of business building. And sometimes it starts with a cute social media plan and that can lead to a lot of money, but this is a true, deeper relationship-based expertise combined with this authority building that we're doing with the AI and automation and content creation. Okay, really good question. I lost my questions. Hold on. Okay. So inside the Facebook group, I need to finish editing the book version of this, like the whole entire thing, because I told you I've been working on it for a while. I will tell you how to get it in the Facebook group. I'm not going to just paste the whole thing in the Facebook group. I'm going to tell you how to get it. Okay. And Stephanie adds a really good point here. She said, I don't think we should share. Can I say what you said, Stephanie? You don't need
I will.
Okay. Yeah. You don't need another document. You need to actually implement this ish. So that's the truth of the matter. So Jake, just so you know, Eddie. Okay. I read these questions at, I love it. Leanne says, what are your thoughts on pricing for custom AI tools if we're doing it for clients? So here's the thing. You've got to look at two big, huge things with this. Remember when I shared that I have a friend who paid $25,000 to get her AI brand voice dialed in? At the time, that made sense. At the time, that's exactly what she needed, and it was not available anywhere else. So you've got to look at what's available in the market and what's available in your market, right? Because you may be able to sell that for $25,000. Is that ethical if it's just the AI tool for $25,000? Maybe, but I don't know. The other thing is, what true value are you bringing to them? Now, if you're looking at this just based on the results that they'll be able to get, it could be worth $25,000, right? But you have to balance how easily could they do this on their own or with another way or whatever. So it's not really the tool that you're selling. It's the framework and the system behind the tool that is of that high value. So we can help you to be able to figure out, like, maybe the tool comes with some other sort of bonus to really ground in that pricing. But this is what we do with most members. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you that here is what we're going to do. When you join us, Stephanie, I did not mention this. Once you complete the onboarding process inside the community, so this is new for Sales Stars members, we actually are offering you an onboarding call. And the way that you get that onboarding call is that you complete a little mini version of the whole entire program. There's like a few assignments that you get to complete within there. Once you've completed those assignments, you and I get on a call, and then we make sure that everything is really, really dialed in for you. In the past, we sometimes had done those calls right away, but then some people hadn't actually gone through any of the portal. So we're going to tell you, do these 3 assignments, and then you'll get on a call with me. That is based on availability. So that's why you want to join sooner and get this going. It is awesome. And that for a lot of people, what they're doing is they're mapping out their money map on that call. And it's way better if you've gone through the little exercise that I give you, and then on the call, we can fine tune it. I like it. It's true, Renee. It's so true. Okay. I'm going to make sure we don't have any other questions. Oh, I wasn't looking at YouTube for questions. So let me pop over there, and then I'm going to pick our winners. So if you did not share your best nugget over on, oh my God. Now, here's where I try to decide, like, do I block you, or is this you trying to be funny, GB? Okay, there's some YouTube comments that are a lot right now. Okay. Amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick our winners. So I'm going to go over to my personal Facebook profile. I'm going to pull up your nuggets, and I am going to pick a winner. Thank you guys so much for being here today for this. Like I said, this is brand new information. I really think it's so important for us to be recognizing what's possible, but also combining that with who we are as human beings and our own true solid expertise. So thanks so much for joining us. And if you have any other questions, please just send us the word details on Instagram. I'm super excited to be able to follow up with those of you who filled out the application. I see those applications coming in, and I see that we have some members too. So I'm really excited to talk to you, those of you that have decided to join us also. We've never made it this easy to be able to join us. So know that you can get started for under $300, which is like totally bananas. We put the information in the chat. And if you have any questions, please reach out. I'm going to pick a winner right now. I'm just going to scroll. Marcia, tell me when to stop. I'm going to have you be my stopper for the winner. Just because I see your face.
Sorry, I had to get off a mic or turn on the microphone. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, stop.
Okay, it is Eddie Eason, and I'm going to screen share right here. He says, thank you, Marcia. He is the new Meta AI is awesome and fun because it is so true. So Eddie, we're going to build you your own custom GPT. Marcia, thank you for picking Eddie. You can thank Marcia, Eddie. Send us an email at molly@thepreparedperformer, and we'll give you information on how to get started. Okay, guys, I'm so stoked. I don't know. We may take this replay down tomorrow. We may leave it up for a week. We may leave it up. I don't know. But I'm so glad that you were able to be here with us today. Send us a message on Instagram with the word details if you have any questions. We'd love to dive in deeper with you. And let's see what magic we can create together. So good.